WTSPN is proud to present Insights on Leadership and Life with your host, Roberta Pickett.
Welcome, everybody, to Insights on Leadership and Life. I'm your host, Roberta Pickett, Leadership and Life Coach. And tonight we're going to be talking about ethics. Ethics is one of those topics that most people roll their eyes when they hear it, but it's such an important thing for us to talk about. Ethics in our workplace, ethics in the community. As a trainer and manager for many years, the question often came up about what is the difference between a good manager and a good leader. And the answer often was that a good manager does things right and a good leader does the right things. But all of us know that not every leader can do everything right all the time. So we want to talk about what happens, what about decisions? How do we make the choices about our decisions, and what does that have to do with ethics? So here to talk with me tonight are two people whom I respect very much, and I believe both act in an ethical manner, both in their work life and in their home life. And so I would like to introduce Barbara Besana.
Hello.
Hello, and Mark Frederick.
Hi.
And Barbara is the Executive Director of KidsFirst, and that's a counseling and family resource center in Placer County, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And you also serve as the Rotary District 5190 Ethics Chair, and you're a board member of the Ethics Initiative for Rotary Districts and Clubs. Now, is that broader than the district level? Is that at a higher level than that?
Yeah, that goes between zones 25 and 26, and so it's basically parts of Canada, Washington, Oregon, down through Arizona.
So anyone who knows about Rotary International know that's a pretty big, widespread area and pretty great. I mean, you're not only taking the idea of ethics and focusing on it here in our district, which is northeastern California and northern Nevada, but also this broader zone.
Right, and we're actually trying to expand that to other districts and other zones throughout the country. So we're brainstorming different ways to do that as well.
That's cool. Well, I really consider you a mentor, and so I'm just thrilled that you were able to come down, because you live over in Lincoln, so it was a good hour and a half drive to get here, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Not too bad, but thank you.
And Mark, welcome to you, Mark Frederick. You are the Director of Operations and Partner for Integrity Management Carl's Jr. franchise. So that's it's like 12 or 13 stores?
Soon to be 17. Restaurants on one side, and 14 on the other concept. So we've got about a little over 30 restaurants.
And that's all in Central and Northern California?
There's 8 in Utah, and the rest are all here in California, Northern California, San Francisco Bay, and up here into the foothills.
So it keeps you moving all around all the time,
just a bit,
doesn't it?
Just a bit.
Well, I know you've been in the restaurant management and development industry for over 30 years, and you're also a good friend and neighbor. So again, in our conversations over the last couple of years, gotten to know, I think, your character, and I really respect that.
Thank you.
And I appreciate that.
Thank
So I thought you'd be a great one to stand up for what is right.
Okay, I'll try.
Yeah. So, we're going to be talking about ethics over this next hour, and but before we get into some of the nuts and bolts of that, I'd really like our audience to know a little bit more about you guys. So, who wants to go first?
I'll let the lady go first.
Thank you, Mark. Oh, gee, and how did I get where I am here? I don't know. It's a circuitous route. My background is in government, administration, and finance. I worked in cities in Southern California, and also then moved up to Northern California and started to work for the County of Placer. I worked in administrative services, and then I also worked for the last 15 years with the Sheriff's Office.
Oh, great.
And so there's a lot of things involved in that, but one of the things that I really love, I have a passion for youth, and serving the community. So that's one of the reasons that I joined Rotary in the mid to late 90s, because I just had a passion for giving back to the community. I wanted to, there's services like the Boys and Girls Club and other organizations that have been there for my children, and I wanted to be there for the youth. And Rotary is just such a great vehicle to do that. And I've been involved in the Boys and Girls Club, and then in 2010 I became involved with KidsFirst as a board member. So that was great.
And they kept going, hey, can you do a little bit more, a little bit more?
Yeah, July they just said, oh, our executive director is leaving, would you mind taking this role on an interim basis? And so it recently became permanent, but it's just a passion for giving back to the community and doing the right thing. So that's why I love it.
Well, Mark's wife, Chris, works for CASA. And
they're one of our partners.
There you go.
Yeah, and just really respect the organizations that do work with children in our communities.
Great work.
So which Rotary Club do you belong to?
I belong to the Rotary Club of Auburn. It used to be the old man's club. We're trying to change that perspective now. But there's, we're getting more and more women, and the women really bring, I think, a breath of fresh air to the club, some diversity and just energy, I think.
So it's the first club that Auburn has, because I think they have 3 clubs, right?
We had about 115 members.
Oh, great. That's
and I've been there since 1999, and also been very active in the Rotary Youth Leadership Awards Camp for the juniors that are going to be seniors. So.
I love Ryla. We call it Ryla.
Yes.
And it's I know everybody in our community here in Amador County, the kids know about it, and it's such an honor to be chosen. And they all come back saying, it's changed my life.
Wow.
So
Yes.
Great.
it's very neat. So Mark, tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I'm a Californian now, but I'm from the Northeast. I went to school back east. I'm raised there. Went to the University of New Hampshire. Moved out here wanting to get into the hospitality industry. And I started in Yosemite. And,
Nice place to start.
Yes, definitely.
thought I would be the next Hilton or something, trying to learn the hotel business. I ended up on the service side in the restaurants, and I just found it very enjoyable because you're in this industry. You're kind of your own boss most of the time, and you get to work with a lot of young people in the industry. So it's fun to be able to develop them and make them see that there's opportunity to work hard and that something can come of that. So that's been my passion for 30 years. And I've just kind of grown in position, but you're still basically doing the same thing. You know?
Now, in between, you've had some other, or maybe it's on top of, but didn't you have a restaurant here in Amador
Yes,
County?
I also had opened up my own restaurant before working. Well, I actually was in between Carl's. I worked for Carl's corporate, so I saw how they deal with people which was good examples. Then I went out on my own and had my own restaurants for a while. Actually, I had a little one here up in Pioneer, Sequoia Drive-In. I ran that for 5 years, I believe. I tried to expand to that was my second one. Overdid it a little bit and went back to work for Carl's in this position I am now. This is a franchise, so we're not as big as corporate, obviously, so there's more opportunity here to grow and work closely with people.
Well, speaking of growing, isn't there a new Carl's coming very soon?
Yes, there is. Thank you, Roberta. Yes, our franchise is opening up one right here in Jackson, where the Jim Boy's Tacos used to be.
So that's right across from Safeway, right?
Right across from Safeway. We'll be hiring with management, probably about 30 people.
Woohoo!
30 to 35
Yay!
people.
We can take that.
Quite a few of those will be full-time.
That's great.
That will help the community, and we plan to be very involved with the community. So as being a partner in the endeavor, I'm looking forward to it. So,
Well, I'm sure that the community is looking forward to it too.
from all what I can tell so far, yes, I'm very interested.
That's great. So you've lived then in Amador County how long?
My wife will kill me. Has it been 10 years now? No, 11 years. 11. Can't see that far.
Little
my
hints
glasses.
from the
But
peanut factory.
yeah, in California now for over 30 years. So
Yeah.
mostly in the Bay Area and now up here, and we love it. Great community.
Yeah. Yeah.
Foothills are great.
Yeah, and you're in the foothills too. So.
Yeah, you are too. That's great.
Yep.
Yeah.
Although we like to say in Pioneer, we're a little bit more than the foothills.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
But it's just a matter of perspective.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really excited to have both of you, as I mentioned before, to talk about ethics, because I think this is such an important, and working in government, obviously you've seen a lot, working with the sheriff's department, working with youth, it's so important to have that perspective of the right principles in working with people in, in the restaurant industry. Obviously, same thing, hiring people. What do you expect out of them? Those are all such important things, so we can talk about it. We're going to take a quick break and give our supporters some time to talk about them, and we will be right back in just a few minutes with more on insights on leadership in life.